Everyone is searching for a way to save a buck.
That's right. Here with us this morning for a new segment here on Pittsburgh CW. I can't talk. Financial advisor Robert Wilson with some tips on how to save. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning.
All right. So the basic tip to start saving money, does it involve opening a new savings account? Does it involve trimming the budget? What's the most basic advice you can give to someone who needs to see a little more extra cash?
Right. Well, I'll tell you what, I think we've got to start with thinking about the psychological side of our relationship with money. You know, I think rationally we all know that we need to save, but behaviorally we have a hard time actually getting it done. So I think we've got to find a way to balance the pain of actually having to put money away and save it with the joy of being able to splurge and spend on yourself sometimes. So I think one way to do that is to actually save for those things simultaneously. Every time you put money away in your emergency savings account or you save for retirement, put some money in another account that you're going to save specifically to spend on yourself, be it to go out on the night on the town, have a good dinner, or buy tickets to a big game that might be coming up this weekend. So I think it's important to not feel like you're depriving yourself, and if you don't do that, it'll be a lot easier for you to save money.
But a lot of folks are going to argue, Robert, that this is a really difficult time right now to save money. Your advice for those folks? Well, especially in this time, this day and time.
Absolutely, it certainly is. And I think the important thing here is to be savvy and not cheap, because being cheap will cost you more money in the long run. But there's a number of things that you can save money on. Let's talk about that cable TV. With the coming of digital TV, you probably at least want to have a basic cable service. But you've got to rethink, do you really watch all those premium channels, and do you need the highest package? Also, think about your insurance. The cost of your insurance and deductible actually goes in opposite directions. So if you increase your deductible, you can decrease your payment and save money on that bill every month. And very high on my list of things that I can't believe we spend this much money on are things like bottled water. You know, Americans spent $15 billion on bottled water in 2007. And, you know, we've been tricked by the marketers and the advertisers into buying these things. I know $15 billion wouldn't even be a fine print on a government economic stimulus plan, but to regular folks like us, that's a lot of money. So I think we can cut out frivolous things like that and start to save a lot of money. Also, you can increase the withholding allowance on your paycheck. If you're getting a refund every year, you're basically giving an interest-free loan to the government, and you know, you don't need to do that. Keep that money for yourself, and you can do a lot better with it. And the last thing I think is it might be time for you to do some things yourself that you've been having others do. You might need to rake the leaves, shovel the snow, but think about it this way, you can finally get that exercise in that you've been meaning to get in.
That's a very positive way of looking at it. What about, Robert, the things that we must have, but that still cost a lot of money? How do we save there?
Certainly, but you know, I think there's a lot of things that you do need and you can have, but you don't need to buy them new. So if you're into reading books and listening to music, you don't need to buy, you know, DVDs and books and CDs new. eBay, half.com, you can go to a lot of websites and purchase those things. And given the downturn in the economy, there are a number of luxury goods for sale online or at retailers that are local that are going out of business or closing a store in your local area. You can go to those stores and find terrific deals.
All right, we have just seconds left. Would you say start with a budget? Just put it out on paper so you see where all your money's going.
You have to start with a budget. You can find many more ways to save money if you understand where your money is going. Use a personal finance software tool like Quicken, Mint.com. Know where your money is going. That way you can save.
All right, Robert Wilson,
Great
financial
advice.
advisor. Yeah, great advice there, and we look forward to putting some of that into motion here. And thanks, Robert, for those tips.
Thanks for having me.
All right, still ahead.